Hi guys, hello. Hi guys, hello. Welcome to Vedantu. Welcome to We Learn English. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to this session with DG Sir. I hope all of you are doing great again. Awesome, superb, mind blowing, amazing. Yeah, glad to see all of you here. Hey, hi Bhumika. Hi Lokesh. Hi Nandana. Hi Harshita. Hi Ashwant. Hi Anushka. Great. Hey, hi Jesh, hi Shifa, hi Anmol. Awesome. Glad to meet all of you here. Hey, I'm doing great. I hope all of you doing awesome here. Hi Chanpreet, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. A little unwell. I'm a little unwell, but that's okay. Managing, recovering. So, ठीक है. Thank you so much for your concern, guys. I hope all of you are doing great, awesome, super, mind blowing. Yes. So, what is that we are going to discuss today is the key difference between spoken and written English. So, that's what the topic is spoken English versus written English. So, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, stay tuned, and let's get started. Welcome to Vedantu. Welcome to We Learn English. Spoken versus written English. That's what we're going to discuss today. But then, before we get into the topic, before we get into the conversation, there is one thing that we have observed on Vedantu is that when you guys are learning online, online education is great. It saves a lot of time, a lot of energy, and of course, it is at the comfort of your home. But then, still, there are these problems. You know, when you guys are learning online, these are the problems I'm sure all of you face. So, when it comes to doubt solving, you're learning some content, you're learning some subject, the subject is understood, but what about the doubts of it? So the doubt solving, notes, tests and assignments, competitive exams, the choice of the schedule, and the choice of language as well. You know, these are the problems that you guys face when it comes to studying online. And nobody is even talking about it. You know, nobody except Vedantu is even talking about it. So everybody is just concerned about teaching online. There are a lot of YouTubers, there are other random platforms which teach online, but then nobody is talking about how that we can take care of the doubts of the students, the notes, tests and assignments, competitive exams, the choice of schedule, the choice of language. These are the real problems that you guys face. And Vedantu has a solution for all these problems. Yes, you heard it right. We have a solution to all these problems. And I'm sure you must be as excited as I am to know the solution to all these problems. Um, the Vedantu, with the problem, the solution that we have on Vedantu, we have solved these problems. I'm going to tell you what the solution is. Stay tuned with me. I'm going to tell you what the solution is. Stay tuned for that. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. We Learn English. You guys are gonna learn amazing sessions with me. My name is Dhiraj Gabeja. For those who don't know me yet, my name is DG. You guys can simply call me DG. Dhiraj Gabeja, that's what my name is. I'm a master teacher here at Vedantu. Besides that, I have been teaching English for more than 9 years here. I am not only an academic English teacher, but then I'm a communication coach and I've done human psychology through science and spirituality approach. So on this channel, I am trying to cover academic English as well as communicative English and also sessions on human psychology, the understanding of the human mind, how is that you can control your mind, you can deal with the negative patterns of your mind and so that your mind works for you and not against you. In a way you become a better version of what you can be. You know, enhancement, the self enhancement, self improvement. And I've made sessions on personality development as well. You can simply check it out and make sure you share it with your other friends as well. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. Okay, let's discuss this. Let's discuss this. See, this is the key structure that I've written. You can call it structure, or you can call it simply a formula. This is a simple formula. You see, spoken English for and written English. I mean, what is required for spoken English? These are the requirements, and what is required for written English? I have highlighted the requirements. Okay, let's talk about this. More than a topic, this is going to be a talk. This is going to be a conversation here, and I'm sure we all wish to improve our spoken English as well as written English. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Hey, hi, Bhumika. Hi, Shubham. So whenever I look down here, that means I'm checking my phone. Okay, Bhumika, super excited. Hey, that's awesome. You brand boy, Weber, Shubham, Nandana. Great, great, great. सुमिता. चलो ठीक है. Let's understand this. So see, when we talk about learning a language, when we talk about English language here, this has basically four aspects to it. So of course, you speak a language, that's what we call spoken English. You write it, that's what we call written English. Of course, we read it as well. We call our reading skills of a language and the listening skills as well. So it's spoken, written, reading, and listening. Reading is a different aspect altogether. Listening is, of course, also a different aspect altogether. I'm not going to talk about reading and listening here. I'm just going to talk about spoken and written English here. Let's understand this. First of all, let's understand the psychology. Hi, Anupriya. Hi, Anupriya. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Hi, Bhumika. Yeah, great, great, great. Hi, Sarah. Okay, nice. Chalo, let's look at this here. Yeah, let's get started. So, let's understand the psychology of a language first. Let's understand the psychology of language. Let's talk about a human mind. So, in the human mind, of course, see, we have thoughts, emotions, feelings, desire, perception, memory, imagination. There is a lot in a human mind. Let's say if we did not have a mind, if we did not have a mind, there is no possibility of a language. Okay, language is nothing but a platform or a source that we use just to share our ideas, just to share our thoughts, emotions, feelings, whatever is happening in our mind. That's what we call communication, right? If you simply look at the psychology of language, for example, let's talk about spoken English first. Let's talk about spoken language. When I say language here, we are talking about English. So I'm just going to talk about English here. Let's talk about spoken English first. If you see, how is that we use spoken English? Let's look at the psychology of it. Um, First of all, we have clarity of thought process. Look at this here. Clarity of thought process. What do I mean by that? Clarity of thought process. We have our conscious thinking process and subconscious thoughts, right? The thoughts in our conscious mind, our thinking process, that is something that we do, and the thoughts in our subconscious mind, which is happening on its own. So when I talk about clarity of the thought process, what I'm talking about is you have this clear thinking process. So first of all, you think clearly. You think clearly, then you know the components of the language. Okay, you know the components of the language. That is something that I'm going to tell you now. And then there is this clarity of sound, and then you simply practice it. This is what is required to have spoken English. Now I'll explain this. I'll explain this flow. What do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, uh, I want to speak in English and I want to simply say that I feel good today. And I simply want to express this in words and I say, and I want to convey this feeling to all of you that I feel good today. I feel nice, peaceful, amazing, awesome. In short, I feel good today. So how's that I'll be able to talk about it? How's that I'll be able to talk about it? First, I have a thought about it, right? It could be a thought, emotion, feeling. Now, if there is no thought, I cannot really speak about it, right? So before I speak, I have to make sure I'm clear about what I want to say. So before I speak, I'm clear about what I want to say. So if I want to say I feel good today, मतलब आज मुझे बहुत अच्छा फील हो रहा है, तो अगर मुझे ये बोलना है, So I got to make sure that I've got clear thought process about it. So I'm gonna think about it first. Okay, this is what I want to say. So you have your clarity of thought process. Now what happens is your thoughts, they look for some data in your mind. They look for the data of a language. You imagine your childhood days, for example, if your Hindi is strong, or if Marathi is strong, Gujarati, Bengali, Tamil, Malayalam, or any other language which is your mother tongue, or anything, any language that you have been using since your childhood days, right from your parents, neighbors, society, people around you, and that is something you are really good at. It could be Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, or any other language. It could be English also. You see, all the data has gone into you. Okay, language is nothing but data. What do I mean by that is grammar, vocabulary, phrases, idioms, all these are components of a language. So once we have that sufficient data, once we know all the components of a language, your thought process is going to use that data. So if the data of, let's say, Hindi is strong in your mind, your thoughts are going to use that data. If, let's say, the data of Marathi is strong in your mind, your thoughts are going to use that data. Marathi, the data of Marathi. If it's Hindi, they're going to use Hindi. If it's Marathi, they're going to use Marathi. That's how it is. So if we kind of train our mind, the only and only solution is we train our mind to know the components of the English language really well. Only and only then your thoughts, that is your mind, will choose the data in English, and you will speak. So you will have this clarity of sound. After you know the components, you need the clarity of the sound. And of course, you practice spoken English. So these are the key requirements. If you see, the only difference between spoken and written English is this. In spoken English, of course, you speak, so you need clarity of sound, and that is something that gets replaced in written English. So when you're writing something, of course, again the same thing, you need clarity of thought process. Now, before you begin to write a poem or a blog, an essay, or maybe simply a letter, or just anything. Of course, you have to think about it first. So that has to be clear in your thinking process. Whatever you want to write, first requirement is, or the first thing that is really required is clarity of thought process. That's the same thing. That's the common point in the spoken English. The second one is what? The second one is what? Components of language. You see the same components if you see. So that's the second point if you see components of language. And the third point over here in spoken English, if you see, is clarity of sound here. But then in written English, of course, we are not speaking, right? So there is no clarity of sound here, but it is replaced by writing format, rules, pattern, all of that. And spoken English, you practice. It's all about practicing. And of course, written English is also about practicing. The more you will practice, the better it would be. So now you must be wondering, what are these components I'm talking about? You must be wondering, what are these components I'm talking about? In case you haven't watched that video, I have made a video on how that you can learn English in 30 minutes. This is one of my oldest videos. At the beginning of the channel, I guess it was the third or fourth video. Just go and check it out. The title of the video is Learn English in 30 minutes. Learn English in 30 minutes. Learn English in 30 minutes. Know it in 30 minutes. Yeah, like learn English and know it in 30 minutes. That's what the title is. Just search that in the channel itself. I'm sure you'll get it. I'm just going to give you a quick recap of all the components which I'm talking about. So when I use these word components, I'm talking about everything that is required to learn a language. So right from grammar, then vocabulary, phrases, phrasal verbs, idioms, proverbs, sayings, and thoughts. All these are required for learning the language really well. And then, of course, you can know common mistakes also. For example, when you know some mistakes that we make in spoken English or written English, once your mind knows those mistakes, of course, you will not make those mistakes, right? That's what it is about. So check this here. So these are the components that I'm talking about. I'm not going to explain these components in detail here because, as I told you, all these components are explained in that video. If you want to learn all these components in detail, what grammar exactly is, what vocabulary is, simply check out that video, because I'm using the same PPT that I have used in that video, Know English in 30 minutes. Okay. So in that video, I've given the detailed explanation of all these components. Now, why is that I call these concepts components? If you see, without without proficiency in all these components, using a language is not possible. So language is not only about knowing grammar. So it's a combination of grammar, vocabulary, that is, you know as many words as possible, relevant words, then phrases, phrasal verbs, idioms, proverbs, sayings, thoughts. Basically, these are the components that everybody is learning. That's what a language is made up of. So this is what is, all these components are common. All these components are common in spoken English as well as written English. Look at this here. So first you need this clarity of thought process, and you know all the components of the language. When I say know all the components, you know what is required. The word component makes it very clear that what is that the language is made of. Language is made of all the components which are highlighted here. So you cannot be saying that you will learn only grammar and you will be thorough with English. You cannot be saying that you will learn endless vocabulary and of course you will be proficient in English. No, 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 that never works that way. It's a systematic combination of grammar, vocabulary, phrases, idioms, phrasal verbs, and then proverbs, sayings, thoughts. Now, when all of that is combined, that is what we call a language, right? The language is nothing but a combination of all those components. Okay, English language, for example. So once you're thorough with all these components, along with that, you need the clarity of the sound. Of course, to speak, you need to speak clearly. So that is what is required. So once you know all those components, all those components are strong in your mind, your thought process will happen in English. So the key is to have your thought process in English. Once your thought process happens in English, automatically it happens in English. You're not translating from Hindi, Marathi, or some other language. You're simply using your thought process directly in English. That means you've trained your thought process, you trained your mind to use the data of English directly. All these components. Let's say you're thorough with grammar. You have approximately 1500 to 2000 vocabulary, good set of words, useful words. Let's say you know 100 phrases, 150 to 200 idioms, phrasal verbs, connectors, all these components. And now what you need is clarity of sound plus practice. Now, when you know these components, the only way to become a good speaker is to speak. Yes, you heard me right. The only way to become a good speaker is to speak. If you really want to become a good communicator, the only way is to communicate. There is no other way. So once there is clarity of thought process, once you have the components, then there's clarity of thought process, and second, you know the components of the language English. You work on the pronunciation. Every word you speak must be clear, and then you keep practicing. That's what is required for spoken English. Now, when we talk about written English, the first point remains exactly the same. You cannot write anything without thinking about it first. So again, you need clarity of thought process here also, as clarity of thought process is common. It's common for spoken, written. It's common for reading skills also. Okay, but then I'm not talking about reading here. So it's common for both the aspects. It's common for spoken as well as written. That means you having your clear thought process. Now, let's say once there is clarity of thought process, and what is that you want to write about? Let's say you want to write a poem, or you want to write an article, you want to write a blog, all these words here. Once you're clear about what you want to write, your mind will use the same components. Your mind is going to use the same components of the language. So the grammar remains the same. There are some key differences, of course, spoken grammar and the written grammar. You don't learn grammar with rules when it comes to speaking English. You learn grammar communicatively, but the components will remain the same. All the components remain the same here. Grammar, vocabulary, phrases, phrasal verbs, idioms, proverbs, sayings, and thoughts. So when you know these components really well, the same is required for written English as well. Now, once you have these components, again, so your thoughts are going to use that data. Your thoughts are going to use English, because you're training your mind, you're kind of forcing your mind to use the components of English language. And the difference over here is, of course, you must know the writing format, rules, or pattern. Now, in written English, the format matters, the written rules matter, and punctuations as well. For example, in spoken English, maybe you're simply just speaking casually, or maybe without without being worried about the rules and everything, because there are no strict rules about spoken English. There are no strict and hard and fast rules about spoken English. But when it comes to written English, you have to organize your content. Like, you know, the structuring, first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, you have to give it a heading. So all this comes in a format. The rules of written English, basically, for example, punctuations. Okay, where to use a comma, where to use a full stop. I have made a video on punctuations, right? I've done with the 2 sessions on punctuations. So punctuation is something that is not required in spoken English. In spoken English, we pause, there is intonation, there is voice modulation, and all of that is expressed equally in written English through punctuations. So comma, full stop, colon, semicolon, and all of that. And of course, then you practice. Practice is the key to success for both. You cannot become a good writer, or you cannot become a good speaker without practice. It could be practice just with yourself, practice with people around you, practice using technology. It could be any type of practice, but then you have to make sure you practice. Without that, it's just not possible, spoken as well as written. Okay. I hope all of you got my points here. So this is the key difference between spoken and written English. The clarity of thought process remains the same. You have to make sure that there is clarity of thought process. Then you know all the components of the language. So as I told you, it's not only about grammar, vocabulary. It's a combination of all the components that I've mentioned here. And then you work on the clarity of sound. You work on the clarity of sound when it comes to speaking. And then you speak. And then you speak. There is no other way. There is simply no other way. So you speak with your friends, you speak with your teachers, you probably, when you're, there is a self-talk going on in your mind, when you're talking to yourself, use English even there. So the more you will practice, the more fluent you will be in spoken English. And same is with written English here. You have the clarity of thought process, you know the components of the language, you know the writing format, rules and pattern, which includes punctuations, format, number of paragraphs, etc., etc. And then you practice. So these are the key points, the key understanding of spoken English and written English. Okay. I'm looking at the chat now. Guys, I was kind of engrossed in the PPT. I wanted to make sure that I talk about the topic clearly, and that's what is written here. Hey, Lokesh, Nandana. No, I'm not ignoring Gupta. Don't worry. Okay. Superb. Hi, Chandni. So these are the tips that you have to follow. That's the key difference between spoken versus written English. The components will remain the same. So to know these components, in detail, that is to understand what learning grammar is, to understand what learning vocabulary is all about, learning phrases, phrasal verbs, idioms, proverbs, sayings, and thoughts. The spoken English and the reading skills, for example, pronunciation, intonation, voice modulation. Written English means we have written rules, format, proper punctuation. To know all this, make sure you check out the video Hows That You Can Learn English in 30 Minutes, one of my videos. The title is Learn English in 30 Minutes. Okay, so I've explained all these components. In detail. Okay, so using all these components, and this is something can also help you. This can also be a part of the component, you knowing common mistakes in English. So common mistakes, something like, for example, look at the word suit, S-U-I-T-E. Pronouncing the word suit as suit is incorrect pronunciation, right? It's actually sweet. So when we pronounce this word S-U-I-T-E as suit is incorrect pronunciation, because the correct pronunciation is sweet. The mistakes like this. Or for example, when the double past tense is used, for example, I didn't understood. This is kind of a mistake, a very common mistake. So it's not I didn't understood, I didn't understand. So once you know these mistakes, of course, you will not make those mistakes. It's very obvious. So knowing the mistakes also, that is how we can learn from the mistakes as well. But the components remain the same. All right. So that's all about the topic, spoken versus written English. Make sure you practice those components, you practice those tips. you learn the components, and then you practice the way it is required. Practice is the key for both spoken as well as written, but then I have also explained the structure, the way it works. I'm just going to do a quick recap here. So for spoken English, clarity of thought process, knowing the components, clarity of the thoughts, clarity of your sound, and then you practice. For written English, again, it is the same clarity of thought process. You need to make sure what you're thinking, what you're going to write. It's well structured and organized in your mind first. You're clear about what you want to write. Then the components of the language, the same components that you'll be using. And the difference would be we don't use sound, of course, in written English. So it gets replaced by writing format. You must know the writing format. You must know the rules and pattern about whatever you're writing. It could be letter, essay, blogs, poems, literature, book, story, novel. So every write-up has a different format, even an email, for example. And then you practice. So practice is the key for both. Okay, so that's all about the session, guys. Thanks for watching. And let me give you a solution that is Vedantu has very diligently made here. So let's talk about this. I'm going to talk about Vedantu Pro Subscription here. These are the problems that we face when it comes to learning online. Doubts, no's, tests and assignments, competitive exams, the choice of schedule and the choice of language as well. And trust me, we have solved all these problems. You want to know how? You want to know? Not only these problems are solved, but then you get these bonus features as well, like unlimited live class. You get access to micro and crash courses. Performance reports are sent to you. And you get personal attention in the sessions. That is something that is really important. There is no personalized attention on online learning platforms, other random online learning platforms, be it YouTube or be it any other company. So all these bonus features, along with what is really required, is clearly there in our Pro subscription. So what I'm talking about is Vedantu Pro Subscription. Simply go onto this link. The link is given in the description box to go onto the Pro subscription. Once you go onto the link which is given in the description box, you will be directed on this page. You choose your grade here. We have all 12 grades, that is 1 to 12. Once you select your grade, the next option would be you select your board. So we have all three boards: CBSE, ICSE, State Board. Select your board. Then you check out the details here. You see this Pro subscription. Check out the details. Click on Get Subscription. Before you click on Get Subscription, all the details are mentioned here. That is unlimited access to live class. You get access, you interact with India's best master teachers. Then there is in-class doubt solving that is happening. You see, that is unlimited doubt solving, test series, assignments, and study material. And when all these features are offered, of course, there is going to be score improvement. So guaranteed score improvement. And then this is the best part. You decide the schedule. You choose a schedule that suits your requirement. Isn't it amazing? So look at the details, guys. Look at the details. You simply click on Get Subscription. And once you click on Get Subscription, use these three options. You will get these three options. You can go for a 1-month subscription, 3-month subscription, or a 6-month subscription. Look at the pricing. The 1-month subscription is usually priced at 6,900 rupees. Okay. No, that's 2699. I'm sorry. 2699. That is 2,700 rupees. That's the pricing before coupon code for a 1-month subscription. If you use my coupon code DG Pro, look at the coupon code. The coupon code sounds as cool as we all are. DG Pro. DG Pro. So the price will drop down to 2294. From 2,700, the price will drop down to 2294. And for 3-month subscription, the price will drop down to 5,949 from 7,000 rupees. And for a 6-month subscription, before coupon code, it's 11,500, and it will drop down to 9,774 if you go for a 6-month subscription. So the point is, the longer the subscription, the longer the more the number of months, the better it would be for you. The more the money you save. You see. That's it, it's here. So you're learning, you're getting this best education, best quality education. At the same time, you're saving your money. So just to avail this offer, to avail this Pro subscription, to try the Pro subscription and get enrolled here, visit this link, vdnt.in/ydpro. Use the coupon code DGPRO. DGPRO, alright? And the link is also given in the description box. The coupon code sounds as cool as we all are. You can simply sing it like a rap, right? DZ Pro. So this will help you, this code will help you to save your money. So you get the best quality education from India's best education brand At the same time, you're saving your money as well. All right, isn't it fascinating? Isn't it amazing? It is. That's what I call a pro package. So that's all about the session, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you find the video really helpful and useful, make sure you express your love by hitting a like button there. You share this video with your other friends, people. Share it on your social networking account so that other people also know about this channel. Leave your valuable comments. Do not forget to leave your valuable comments. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now and you do not miss the amazing learning on this channel. Not only English, but then self-improvement. So this channel basically helps you to become a better version of what you can be. All right. So you were learning the difference between spoken English and written English with DG Sir. So I'm signing off now. Until next time. See you all in the next session. Bye bye. Take care.